Today I'm going to show you Sleeping Swan and Reclining Pigeon because they are two different poses, but they target the same areas in your body. So if Sleeping Swan is not available to you today and you find it a little more challenging, then the Reclining Pigeon would be a better alternative for you. So it's going to be a little bit longer video because I'm going to show you two in one, but they target the same areas. Sleeping Swan and Reclining Pigeon really help you with your lower back, and also it helps you a little bit with your shoulders and your torso and your hips, most importantly your hips. A lot of the poses in yin, because it's stress release, will target your hip and your back because that is where we hold most of our stress. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I'm going to show you Reclining Swan, and that's done in a lot of different yoga segments as well too. Right now we're going to start on our knees since we're primarily on the floor with yin, and you can enter it two ways. For me, it's easier to do it with downward dog, which is another pose that's in almost all yoga sequences and classes, which is this. Your feet hip distance apart, your heels may not or may touch the ground, your arms forward, and actually and bend and dangling in reference to your back, lowering your back, and your neck and your head are relaxed. And this is called walking the dog because it stretches the back of your legs as well, because that helps with your back and your calves to kind of help stretch it out. And with this being a pose that is about halfway through a yin series, you need to have some of your limbs already stretched out because it's a little more challenging pose. For me, it's easier to start this way and do it here and bring my shin and my knee forward, but we can also start here. From here, what we will do is in tabletop and simply taking your right knee and your leg forward up to about your wrist, lowering your left leg back with your top left foot on the mat. It's laying top left foot on the mat, bringing your arms forward and lowering. You will find that your shin or the front part of your leg for the best position is almost try to get a little bit parallel to the front of your mat. But if that is a little more difficult, let me give it to you this way so you can see a little better. This way, bringing it forward and then lowering down. It's a great hip opener. If you bring your legs closer to your body, your front leg, it's a little easier. The more you bring it out to the front, parallel to the top of your mat, it gets a little more difficult. So whatever position is easier for you, closer to your body or more parallel to the mat. And lowering your hip, your arms to the floor, and then your head. This is Sleeping Swan. So whatever position is best for you and your hip, whether it be closer to your body or more parallel to the front of the mat. Your opposite leg is top foot is on the mat. Lowering your torso and your head and neck to the floor. Crossing your arms is fine. Positioning your head on your arms or leg or floor is fine as well. It's a great hip opener, but it does stretch it out a little bit more. So if whatever is available to you, maybe it's here. Also, for your knees, you can also always use a blanket in reference to raising it up a little bit, and that'll help you with your torso fold forward as well. And perhaps bringing your leg a little bit further. Or if that is uncomfortable, keeping it back wherever you are today on your, closer to your body. It's a great hip opener. So making sure that it's your hip that is still positioned correctly. And to come out of that more easily in this position or this position, first raise your arms, lower your arms back, raising up slightly, adjusting your leg. Now this is done on both sides, but I'll only show you one today because I'm going to show you an alternative pose to that as well, which is called reclining pigeon. And that one is on your back. Starting out on your back with your feet flat on the floor, your knees, bent knees, raising your right foot up off the floor, crossing it over, and placing your ankle just below your kneecap. Laying it gently on your left leg, just below the kneecap. Taking your hands, threading them, your right hand in the back of your left leg, placing your hands, intertwining your hands and fingers together, locking your hands and fingers, and simply making sure that your neck, hands, shoulders are on the floor, and gently placing your hand just behind the back of your knee and pulling it just a little bit forward. And you will begin to feel the stretching in your hips as well. This is another alternative to Sleeping Swan as well. We do it for both sides, putting our right foot down, our left foot, placing our ankle just below our kneecap, raising up again. And just a little tug forward, bringing our right leg forward toward our chest to give our hip just a little stretch as well. This might be more available for you today to get started. Either one targets the same hip area as well, which is so needed in Yin for stress relief and to help us in walking and in stretching and in our mobility coming out. But before you do this pose, I would suggest, since it is in the middle of a sequence, either doing some cat-cows to kind of stretch out your spine a little bit, possibly doing some downward dogs with walking the dog to kind of get your hips a little bit warmed up before trying the pose. So don't get any discouragement if at the beginning of this pose, because it is separated here, only to show you the technique that where you are able to place your leg for the placement. So until next time, stay well, be blessed, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video.